I'm very excited to be here at Waves talking about how X is empowering the creator economy. I know we haven't been here for some time, but we're back and we're back with a bang. So I am Pritish, head of content partnerships in India. Hopefully the picture and reality is not too different. But yeah, my X handle is also there. So if you'd like to follow me, please go ahead. I'm at 241 as of now. So I'll check again after the session if that's increased at all. Okay, quick show of hands. How many people here are already on X? Amazing, amazing. My heart is gladdened to see this. And how many of you are using X daily? Very good. Yeah, I think this is about the rate that I expected. So all of you who are on X, who are using X daily, you're joining about 550 million people around the world who are also using X. Those same people are watching or are providing 8.4 billion views, which is a number that's up 38% year over year and is continuing to grow in a massive way, and are spending 360 billion seconds on the platform. And I'm happy to share that in India, the seconds spent on the platform have grown 15% year over year, and once more will continue to grow. So what does all this mean? It means that X is the global town square, or if I put it in Indian and especially Mumbai terms, X is the global tea stall. And the tea stall or the town square is where people come to talk to each other, engage with each other, share their passions, and build a community, right? It becomes a digital extension of what's happening in the now. And when I say now, I mean real time. Let me show you a couple of examples. This is hourly data during the T20 World Cup final in 2024. So the time that's on the x-axis is Barbados time. Around 10:30 a.m. is when the India versus South Africa final started in local time. And if you look at this hourly data, about 3.5 hours later, when India lifted the cup, that's when the number of unique authors and total posts on the platform about cricket spiked in this manner. This means that while watching the biggest cricket game of the year, cricket fans around the world, and we know that most of them are here in India, possibly even in this room, were on X, talking about it, engaging with cricket videos, engaging with other cricket fans. And I'm also going to use this to settle a long-standing debate, although I suspect the answer in this room is clear. One of the biggest divisions in our country in the last 15 years has been Rohitians versus Viratians. And I used this real-time data to try and settle that debate once and for all. So during the Champions Trophy, on Feb 23rd, India versus Pakistan, Kohli hit a century, man of the match award. He definitely won. But when Rohit as captain lifted the trophy with a match-winning performance in the final, Rohit won. So at the end of the day, it comes down to performance. Please stop fighting each other. Rohit and Virat are both great. I'll also just mention quickly that on that India versus Pakistan day, Kohli was the 4th most talked about person on X globally. So it was all the world leaders and Virat Kohli, world leader in his own right. X is also a place for the wrestling community, and somehow I feel this isn't talked about enough, but WWE is very popular in India. And WrestleMania 41 was only a couple of weekends ago. Drew McIntyre sent this out during his match. So that selfie was during the match, during the live telecast of WrestleMania. And if you look towards the top of the screen, you can see that that was 1 minute ago. And in that 1 minute on X, that post got more than 100,000 likes and more than 40,000 reposts. So that's what I mean when I say that X is a digital extension of what's happening in the now, and it's real time. Today's timeline on X, therefore, becomes tomorrow's headline. I think we've all seen news articles that are reporting what's happening on X. And I'll share a couple of examples with you to show the scale at which this does happen. Union Forest Minister Shri Bhupender Yadav announced the great news that 5 new cheetah cubs were born in the Kuno National Park. Brilliant news for everyone. First broke on X, and then as you can see on the right, was then reported in the digital news with a shout out to X and the video that he posted over there. Not just that, but another union minister, Shri Ashnavi Vaishnaw, who's of course played a big part in organizing Waves 2025, he took to X to showcase a Make in India tablet that he felt was more durable and had all the functionalities that a tablet should have. Andhra Pradesh Minister Lokesh Nara shared education and exam results over there. But it's not just the serious stuff. It's not just government and ministers and things like that. X is the place where people are discussing how we eat in India. Big topic, very important topic, right? So there was a debate on X on which state has the best dosa. And that again makes it to the news. Not just how we eat, how we speak. A French man with an Indian partner, he made a viral post on X on how Indians speak English in a unique way. And again, his findings that he shared on X went viral across the nation, was in the news the very next day. I want to share the 5 examples that I've shown you so far. Each and every one of these examples is from the last 1 month. The oldest example here is from April 1st, 2025. So this is something that's happening every day. But I do have one old example to show you from 2021. In 2021, when the Ever Given ship blocked the Suez Canal and held up 12% of global trade, one of my posts was also featured in the news, as you can see here. And I feel if you've driven on Mumbai roads, Delhi roads, Bangalore roads, you probably know what I'm talking about. All right, let's move on. Being the digital extension of the now, being the global town square, X automatically becomes the home of culture. Right? Culture is a vague term, but what it means is the things that unite people, the things that bring people together, regardless of location, religion, etc. It's things like movies and TV, sports, technology, food, gaming, video games, interest in science and technology, and so on. And all of those conversations find a home on X amongst a passionate audience that's leaned in and discussing those things. So this is global data, but uniquely in India as well, X is the home to all conversations. This is third-party data that surveyed people and asked them what are they interested in, especially. And from technology to food and drink, music, to books and literature, which I'll come back to later, economy and finance, investments, the audience on X, which is the purple bars, are the ones who are more interested than the audience on other social platforms who are maybe a bit more leaned back, who are maybe not quite as passionate about the topics that they're discussing online. So this is a unique audience that lives on X, and as creators, obviously, it's an audience that you can reach out to, you capitalize on, and build a connection with, which is what I'll be talking about next. X is the place where creators, I should say, X is the place where creators from Coldplay to Cristiano Ronaldo to anyone, I'll show you a few examples, come to authentically connect with the audience that they have. And it's a unique kind of connection. Let me show you a few examples, right? This is essentially the vibe on X, right? You might say, Miss Sadhvi may say to her parents that she needs privacy, but on X, she's saying, ab tum logo se kya chupana? Like, it's a place where people are open, it's a place where people feel a connection with others. And on other social media platforms, all of you who may be creators or working as social media managers or interested in that space, you might find this image relatable because your posts there may be pre-planned, curated on a strict schedule, but on X, it's a lot more real. For example, Tanmay Bhatt, favorite creator of many people, legendary creator of India, sometimes a friend of mine also. He may be known for his comedy, he may be known for his podcast, but on X, he was live posting on X, about India versus Australia. It obviously wasn't going our way, which is why he said good night at 7 a.m. in the morning. But that's something he can do with X. He can show more of himself as a person and his interests. Similarly, on the right is just him reposting the story of the minimalist brand getting acquired by Hindustan Unilever. And he's showing you that interest that he has in that business, in the Indian startup space, and taking things to the next level. Comment sections on other platforms exist, and they have a kind of many to one ratio. People may be commenting on a particular post, but on X, they can proactively, your audience can come and talk about you and your projects and have a real-time two-way conversation. So Prajakta Kohli, okay, again, a very famous, very popular creator, and she wrote her book, and her audience, or one of her fans, wrote about how much she enjoyed that book, and Prajakta has the opportunity to read that feedback and to respond to it, say thank you. Another massive creator, tens of millions of followers, Amit Badana, again, is connecting with his audience who's telling him that I'm on the train on the way home, but I'll watch your video as soon as I can. And he's asking him for feedback. He's saying, like, tell me how you find it. Kaisa laga mujhe batana. And Bhuvan Bam, of course, like, he's done it all. He's been there from the start of India's creator journey. Again, he can repost the fans' feedback here in real time. Abhishek Upmanyu, just a quick example, one of his fans gifted him a premium X subscription. It's something that he took a moment to realize, but once he realized that, he was again able to thank his fan for that, use those features that were now available to him. And his fan was witty enough to use a GIF from Abhishek's own stand-up set to reply to him. So also X is multi-format, guys. It's not just text, it's also GIFs, it's also video. And of course, we'll get into that a bit more later on. Finally, speaking of authentic and unfiltered connections, I'll use the example of Unfiltered by Samdesh. If you're an existing creator who's putting content on other platforms and you have a big audience there, even without becoming a creator on X necessarily, people are using X to show the schedule of when they're dropping their next content. They're talking about how they're relying on the audience to crowdfund them and provide them with the finances to keep making that content and make a living out of the creator economy. And that conversation, that connection is once again happening on X. I'm going to use now an example of one of X's top creators, which is Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, and he was here a couple of days ago. So you'll notice a slight difference between these two feeds, right? And this is just the screenshot that I took by logging into both profiles 2 days ago. So on one platform, you'll see it's brand videos, photo shoots, sponsored posts, etc. And on X is when he's celebrating a cultural moment with his audience, wishing them happy Eid. He's expressing his feelings about legendary actor passing away in his industry as well. So it's again a real authentic connection that he's making there. And I'll say on one platform on the left, he has about 800 posts, but on X, he has more than 60,000 posts. And that's the advantage that a creator has when they're able to truly meet their audience in a one-to-one real-time way. Business leaders, X has always acted as a microphone for them to reach their audience. So even Sundar Pichai, CEO of Alphabet, took to X last week to tell us how he woke up at 8 a.m. to watch an 8th grader Vaibhav Suryavanshi bat. Similarly, Apple marketing legend Greg Joswiak, he posted about how he attended a Kenny Sebastian show and got a selfie with him afterwards, and again made that connection with Indian creators. I'll end this section with another post by Preeti Zinta, which I think sums this whole thing up, right? She regularly, when she has a few moments, does an Ask PZ on X, where she responds to questions that people are sending into her while she's on her phone and free. And she was able to tell them right then and there that she's human and flawed. She has good days and bad days like everyone else, right? And there are platforms or there are moments on social media where you might feel that you have to be always perfect, always looking 10 on 10, always being on brand and on message. But X is a place where you can also just, along with being a creator, be yourself. What all of this means, or I'm now going to try and generalize some of these examples to talk to you about how to show up on X, like what are the different ways in which you can show up on the platform. And after that, we'll talk about how X is empowering that through our revenue sharing and other tools that we're offering to creators to make a living going forward. So it basically comes down to 3 broad buckets, which I hope were reflected in these past examples also. Number 1 is creating effective content. What that means is driving your personal brand or revealing more of yourself as a person and business value through the content that you're posting. 2 is leveraging important moments. These are personal and cultural moments that you can connect with your audience on, and I'll talk about that in a second more. And 3 is thinking beyond the post, which essentially means making a conversation, building a conversation, not just a one-to-many broadcast. So now I won't spend too much time on these, but I'll go through them quickly. Step 1 that you can take if you're going to start off on X as a creator is simply building your network. As a creator or even as a person, there'll be media outlets and publications that you often peruse that report on your industry, that report on the kind of work that you do. Follow them. Follow creators that are in your domain, organizations that you work with, journalists that, again, cover your vertical or whom you've worked with, experts in your domain, and even your friends and family. All of this will help fill up your feed and provide the fuel for the conversations that you can have with them. You can do that by engaging with them simply by starting a chat, by tagging those people. X uniquely lets you repost and quote what someone else has said or what they've posted, and you can share your reaction to that, add on to that conversation, and so on. And finally, ask questions as well. So X is, we like to think of it as the world's largest catalog of human thought. And whatever questions you may have, you can rest assured that someone on X might have the answer, and you'll get that from a real person. We also offer various tools to monitor and analyze what is happening on X, what is happening with your post specifically, what is happening with your followers. So look at all of that data, you'll get a sense of whom you're talking to, and you can craft your message accordingly, essentially. This is one of my favorite sections, leveraging important moments. So let me ask a question for anyone in the audience, like, what is an important moment? Like, what do you guys think counts as an important moment or a key moment? Any examples for a creator? Achievements, that's a good one. Anyone else? Hitting 10 million. It's a great suggestion, because again, you like to celebrate your success, you like to celebrate the audience that you've built. And you can even ask Grok, which I'll come to a bit later on what a key moment is. And it gives you this great explanation of different kinds of moments, personal milestones, I think, which covers hitting followers, achievements, graduation, things like that. But the way I like to look at it is everything is a key moment. As you're living your life, all of those things that are happening, from sports that you follow or that are taking place in the world, to films that you're watching that are creating a cultural moment, which especially happens here in India, the home of Tollywood, Bollywood, and so many other great films. Things in your industry, big video games, cultural celebrations and festivals, and global discussions like the environment, politics, global warming. All of these things are key moments, and the world that we live in, something is going on somewhere that's relevant to you. So all of these are key moments, and you can capitalize on them, and you should capitalize on them. The only tip I'll give for that is don't wait for the moment and try to ride the wave and capitalize on the spike alone. When I talked about building conversations, this is more about what I mean. To authentically have a relationship with the audience that you have and with other creators on X, with industry leaders on X, they'll notice when you're speaking about something throughout the life cycle of that particular moment. So you could be anticipating and tapping into the hype of something. I'm a big cricket fan, so I'll use a couple of cricket examples, right? So the Women's World Cup is happening in October. India's touring England in June. Now is a time for me as a cricket fan to start talking about potential squads, strengths and weaknesses, conditions that will be there, betting odds, whatever it is. Then you'll have the actual moment where interest and content is going to spike on the platform and globally. And that's when you can ride that wave much more effectively. And even beyond the moment, there's so much to do with reactions, analysis, or just reliving the moment again and again, which videos and social media platforms, of course, allow us to do. Okay? So thinking beyond the post and building conversations, the main thing I'd like to stress here is that utilize X's power to experiment with diverse formats and engage with your audience, right? So few examples. You can quote posts that I mentioned earlier, add on to a certain conversation, add your spin to it. You can run polls directly with your audience and get their feedback, understand how people feel about a certain something. You can create threads on X, starting with one post and going down further and further. And if you subscribe to Premium, which I highly encourage you to do as creators, you can even publish long-form articles that people can engage with, and this will also give you more formatting tools. Doesn't end with those four. You can build communities. This can be around any interest group. This can be around pretty much anything. So you can build a community for creators who attended Waves 2025. You can build a community, content creators in Mumbai, content creators in India, tech enthusiasts from Asia, anything of the sort. Build these communities, and within the communities, you can engage with each other and have a feed that's tailored to that. Spaces, which is our audio-only format. Over there, you can start a real-time conversation, broadcast to an entire audience with any number of collaborators that you choose. You can even let the audience become a part of that conversation. It's all very easy to do. Think of it as an interactive podcast and a real-time conversation. That again highlights the nature of X. And finally, live streaming. It's true that in the past, our platform focused on short-form video only, but I'll talk about video in more detail, but know that now you can go live on X, and you can also upload long-form videos on X. So all of these formats are available to you, along with a few more tools that become available when you subscribe to X Premium to keep that conversation going and to express yourself in different ways. Long story short, before I get into how we're supercharging this ecosystem, is across India, creators are at the forefront of conversations. That's all of you. And on X, the platform and the tools that we have allow them to show up slightly differently, and that's what creates unique value. All right, the next section in my presentation here is called Empowering Trendsetters, that's all of you, to drive culture, which is what you do every day. How is X playing a bigger role now in helping that happen? Well, number one is obviously supporting the creator economy and investing in your success. On X now, if you are a premium subscriber, when other verified accounts engage with your posts, whether that's in the form of comments, likes, shares, reposts, etc., you receive a share of the revenue that X is getting from those subscriptions. So we're supporting the creator economy as something that's growing, and I'll share a couple of examples and stats with you now. Around the world today, we have more than 100,000 creators who've enrolled in revenue sharing. And this is something that's launched relatively recently, and we're happy with the way this is growing and will continue to grow, especially here in India, hopefully. And more than 1,000 of those creators are already earning more than 1,000 USD each and every month. So the opportunity on X here is massive, and we want all of you, obviously, to take advantage of that. The big thing here also, the big change in driving the creator economy on X is that X is now a video-first platform. Do not think of X only as a text platform. Yes, text is not going anywhere, but you've already seen in the example so far, images, GIFs, videos. X is increasingly a video platform. 80% or 4 in 5 of user sessions on the platform now include watching at least one video. There's a 35% growth year over year in video views, and that's continuing to grow even faster. And there's even a 17% growth in the time spent watching videos. So not just views, but watch time. All of this is growing on X, and obviously that opens the door to video creators from other platforms or those who are starting their journey to take advantage of that on X. We have various formats within video. So we have full screen vertical video with a scrollable feed. There is long form video on X now. Like I said before, it's not limited to 3 minutes anymore. That's very outdated information. A few people have asked me about that, so I'm just repeating it again and again. And also live video. Again, so many, many ways for you to utilize video on X and monetize it, which I'll get to in a minute. The other big change, which you may have noticed on your X apps in the last couple of months, is there is now a dedicated video tab. What that means especially is the audience now can watch the culture that's on X unfolding in real time via that tab. So a video tab comes with not only a full screen video experience where you can keep scrolling and watching the videos that you're interested in. It obviously comes with a new recommendation algorithm that's giving the viewers what they want, that's amplifying the voices of the creators that are on X. And this is, again, something that's launched very recently, but is going to supercharge the growth of video on X. Okay. What else is X doing, right? Beyond the technological advances, as a company, we're also looking at new ways for creators to find their voices. And I want to talk about now X Originals. There are 3 US examples here, but I hope that when I come back for Waves 2026, that we are able to talk about some India examples here as well, right? But to give you a flavor of what they are, we had an original show with the Boston Celtics, an NBA team, a basketball team, talking about their all-in and their approach to winning games, taking you behind the scenes and into the locker room with them. We had the off-season, another sports show. This is for the Women's Soccer League, again in the US, and how they train for an upcoming season. And moving away from sports, we had a podcast that we launched with Khloe Kardashian, who obviously needs no introduction, called Khloe in Wonderland. There are various other originals that we have commissioned that we are now posting on X, and these creators are finding great success. And once more, I want to say, try to think of this as Mumbai Indians. Try to think of this as Shraddha Kapoor. Like, try to think of this as one of you. These are the originals we'd like to talk about 1 year from now. Okay. Other tools available to content creators to be effective in planning and posting content. Radar, which is a AI-powered tool that help you monitor keywords, track conversations. That can be about yourself or your interest, and stay on top of trends. I'll show you a screenshot just in the next slide about this a bit more. Subscriptions, this is one of the key ways in which we're driving creator monetization. So this is clear one-to-one, your audience, your fans can subscribe to your X handle. That is to say, they'll pay a monthly membership fee or a monthly subscription fee. And in return, you can offer them perks. You can post subscriber-only content that's exclusive to them. And you can have, again, that exclusive kind of connection with them. I also want to share that for the first 100,000 USD that you earn on the platform, X will take no cut from your subscriptions. 100% of it, except the App Store cut, which cannot be avoided, will go straight to you. There's a creator revenue sharing program known as Amplify Audiences. I'll talk about that a little bit more, and Amplify again as a whole. Sorry, creator revenue sharing program, I'll divide into two. On the encompassing everything is the premium verifications that I spoke about before. So if you are a verified X user, when other verified users engage with your content, you will get a share of that revenue. And through Amplify, we'll help you monetize premium video content, which I'll get into in a second. So Radar, this is something I did last night. So again, when I talk about X being real time, I really mean it. So last night, I just put a query into Radar for Waves creator economy. I wanted to see what people are saying about it and what I can talk about in my session here today. And it was able to tell me that in one day, there have been 29,000 posts about the creator economy at Waves. I can set up an alert for it to tell me about this every 7 days, so I can stay on top of what people are saying. And it'll also show me all the top posts relating to this query and the latest post relating to that query. It's up to me on what I want to read in this moment at that time. So as any content creator will tell you, knowing what your audience is talking about, knowing what's happening in your niche is priceless knowledge, and Radar seeks to give you that. Subscriptions, again, I think I explained it in an okay way already, but this is essentially what it looks like when you tap subscribe on an X handle that you're interested in paying on a monthly basis. You can see you'll get the subscription cost as well as the creator's communication on what they're willing to offer. Amplify sponsorships. This is something that I'd encourage you to work with me on. It's a solution we offer to brands to connect with the world's most important cultural moments through the world's most premium content creators. So this is a one-on-one kind of sponsorship that we sell to brands where they can place their ads in a variety of multiple formats against the content that you're creating. And we'll work with you and the brands to make this happen. And we've seen very powerful combinations come through because of this. The example that's on the screen is from Major League Baseball, again, one of the biggest sports leagues in the United States and the world, encompassing Korea, Japan, and many other nations. And how Gatorade wanted to capitalize on the craze around baseball and sell their energy drinks and their replenishing drinks. Besides pre-roll ads, there are a few other formats that Amplify sponsorships encompasses. That's sponsored spaces, the audio format on X that I spoke about before, sponsored polls, with which we've seen some real magic happen in the past, where brands have gotten certain ideas and inspiration from their audience, from the users on X, and launched new products entirely. And even sponsored carousels that go into website cards, articles, and things like that. So a lot to explore here in terms of brands. One question that always comes up when we're talking about ways for creators to monetize on a platform is, of course, brand deals. And I'm happy to share that brand deals also work especially well on X because of our special audience. We mentioned before on how the audience on X is more passionate. They talk about all their interests on X in a way that they don't on other platforms. There's a unique audience there that doesn't exist on other platforms. And all of that kind of leads towards that audience being quite influential. And 1 in 4 of them tend to buy from brands that they've seen advertised on the platform. And 49% of them are likely to click on a sponsored post. When I first asked if any of you here on X, many of you raised your hands. And so if you are on X, you might have noticed that even conversation about brands is something that happens a lot on X compared to any other platform. People are willing to talk to brands. What all of that comes down to in the end is that for a creator, any kind of brand integration, brand deal is also a great way for you to monetize on X and support the brands that you like and help them support you. There's one thing that I haven't yet spoken about, but you might have heard a lot about in the Wave Summit in the last 3 days. I think just before this, there was an AI session on AI avatars and things like that. So I would be remiss, obviously, if I didn't talk about XAI and Grok. When I talk about the video tab, when I talk about various content formats, spaces, all of these things, our ambition is always to make X the home of innovation. And something that really speaks to that, ultimately, is the advancements we've made with XAI in the form of Grok as a chatbot. So let's look into Grok. And you can ask Grok to do pretty much anything. Here we ask Grok, what should content creators do to be successful? And it gave us a pretty good answer around creating great content, consistency, engaging with others, and building a network. You can also ask Grok to do plenty of other things, which is answer any questions that you might have about anything, analyze content. So for example, you could ask Grok, what were the top posts on X in India about books and literature last year? And Grok will do that analysis and share it with you. So if you're a book enthusiast, a literature enthusiast, or in any other field, this is information that you can also get straight from Grok in a real-time chat with the platform. 3 tips for creators on X, also from Grok. So engage like a pro, dive into your audience's comments, replies, and questions. Content is king, and consistency is queen, and visuals pop, so use images and videos. So these are 3 tips from Grok. And I want to share one more thing about Grok. I looked into our internal data for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2025. And the question I asked our internal data was, who are the most mentioned handles in India? Like, which accounts are getting tagged the most in India? Number 1 was the account of the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. Number 2 was the account of the Home Minister, Shri Amit Shah. Any guesses for number 3? Someone said Virat Kohli. I want to share, Virat Kohli is the 2nd most followed Asian person on X. Yeah. And even speaking about brand deals, if you scroll down this is kind of a meme. So if you're very active on X, you might know about this. But 19 out of 20 of his most recent posts on X are actually sponsored posts. So, that opportunity exists on the platform. But the answer is not Virat Kohli. And it's also not Shah Rukh Khan. Amitabh Bachchan is also a legend of X. And again, people who are very active on X will be familiar with his unique counting mechanism of T 59,300 and so on. But it's not him either. It's Grok. Grok is the 3rd most mentioned handle in India for the week of April 18 to 24 and ongoing. And there are reasons behind that. The reasons behind that is that Indians are using Grok to understand content on X. When there's a world event that happens, let's say it's about tariffs, let's say it's about geopolitics, let's say it's about a sport, let's say about a new movie. People are turning to Grok to analyze what they're seeing on X and asking it to explain it to them. There's one more thing that's happened. I'm from Delhi, and people in Delhi have a certain reputation on how we speak to each other and how we're rude and so on. Indians kind of figured out that if you talk to X in Hindi, like a Delhi wala would, it will reply to you in the same way. So they're also having a lot of fun with that, and I'll encourage you to try it out. Try speaking to Grok in your native language, whether that's Marathi, Telugu, Hindi, whatever, and you might be surprised at just how intelligently Grok can reply to you and just how well it can pass off as a native of your state or your country. So that's Grok, and Grok is pretty amazing, to sum that up. 3 key takeaways I wanted to share today are X as a platform is the pulse of global culture. It's where real-time conversation sparks moments that move the world forward. In one of the previous X sessions on small businesses and startups, my colleague shared that when sitting US President Joe Biden decided to drop out of the presidential race, That news was first broken on X. He first posted it to X, and it went from there to other places. We looked at a few other examples also, but X is what's moving the world forward. And what that means for creators is that you can come and share those moments that mean something to you with a highly engaged audience. Takeaway 2, our audience is special. It may not be the biggest yet, but it is the most leaned in, it is the most authentic, and there's something special about it. They're deeply engaged, curious, eager to connect, and they're fueling cultural moments, amplifying new ideas, and shaping conversations. So come to X, whether you're an existing creator on another platform or someone who wants to start the creator journey, come to X to grow your presence and spark these meaningful connections. And finally, our creators, which is again you, by harnessing the culture on X and tapping into our audience, you can form stronger connections, grow your influence, and most importantly, arguably most importantly, turn your passion into a sustainable income through ad revenue sharing, subscriptions, and more. So come to X to grow, engage, and earn a living doing what you love. Hopefully, like a SpaceX rocket, all of you feel that you're ready to take off on your creator journey on X, and I will end there. So thank you very much for listening. Any questions, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a very nice session about X and understanding of the X. Yeah. So I would like to ask you one thing. That's I'm an avid user of LinkedIn because I'm in a B2B, of course. I'm not a content creator. So whether X can be used for any B2B sort of a business or consulting?
The answer is a resounding yes. So I think I had one slide where you had, for example, Sundar Pichai and Greg Joswiak. In the Indian startup ecosystem as well, whether it's the founders of Zerodha, Zomato, you have, of course, Anand Mahindra, for example, the chairman and CEO of Mahindra & Mahindra, is a very active poster on X. So X is definitely a place where business leaders in India are coming to share their thoughts, discuss the industry, discuss next steps, and connect with their customer base as well. I think, again, in the previous session, certain slides were shared around what people in India are talking about on X. And every time I look at that data, business and finance is right up there. And the economy is right up there. So I personally believe that X is a very, very ripe place for someone who wants to become a creator, talking about business, finance, and those things to make themselves known. In a similar way to how LinkedIn is, the B2B also exists on X. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi Pratish, Sundar here.
Hello.
Thank you for the presentation. Two questions. One is, given the way X was formed, what the platform that was earlier and how Elon Musk changed it, why do you think? This came in. Part of it is a marketing pitch as well, right? To sell X out here. So why do you think the consumption of X has not been as high in India as it is probably in US? Is it just because it was formed there and, is that the reason? Because even some of your examples predominantly were US-based examples and you acknowledge that. So that is one. And the second question is, when you talked about monetization, you said if you're a premium user and other premium users, engage with you, you get monetized. Is that only for premium users and premium users, or if you're not a premium user, can you still get monetized on the platform?
All right, thank you. Great questions. So I'll start with the easier one first. The second question, yes, basically. So creator revenue sharing, you become eligible for that when you become a premium verified user yourself. Then there are certain kind of basic requirements in terms of the number of followers you have and the number of impressions on your posts. So yeah, that's limited to verified users with other verified users. And I can share a bit of the reasoning behind that. It's to prevent spam. We want people on X to never regret the time that they're spending on the platform. So as much as possible, we want to disincentivize spammy content, bot content, and all of those things, which is why it's limited to verified users and verified users. So that's the easier question. In terms of, why, look, number one is I'll just say X does have a very vibrant community in India as well. Twitter had it, X also has it, and it's something that's growing. As an X user myself, I spend probably too much time on the platform, but certainly the people are there. They're young, affluent, they're they come from across India. We published the trends report a couple of months ago, where you'd see the sheer volume of conversation around films like Kalki 2898 AD, Big Boss 8, cricket, obviously, and obviously politics, which I won't talk about. But Virat Kohli becoming the fourth most mentioned person in the world globally on X is, of course, largely driven by the Indian audience that we do have. Having said all of that, I prefer not to look into the last few years and instead say the reason I'm here today and my colleagues are sitting here in the front row, the reason we're here at Waves is to bring on more of India into X and to bring more of X to India. And that's, I think our MD of APAC in his panel yesterday, Alan, he's over here, he also announced that we're hiring our first market lead for India, for X. That job opening has just gone live. So yeah, so the future is kind of where we're looking now.
I think you said about the first $1,000 for the creators would be without any cut, except the Play Store cut.
For subscription revenue. First 100,000 actually.
Okay, so here, I mean, what would be the Play Store cut typically be?
Okay, so this is not something that's set by X. I should just clarify that. But off the top of my head, okay, I believe on iOS, the App Store, it's 30% of transaction, and on Android, it's 15%. The Play Store cut, I believe. But and if you subscribe from the desktop, then there's no cut. So if you just subscribe from the laptop, then that's not a thing.
Oh, so that was
Hello, Pritesh. Firstly, thank you for this presentation.
Thank you.
I have two questions. Firstly, as a content creator myself, or there are young content creators, Instagram is a very big marketplace for them, very big stage for them. But so how do you think that content creators would be persuaded to use X more than Instagram, or maybe balance the stage? And secondly, for me, the Twitter, X or previously Twitter was mostly used for news. Like Narendra Modi ne kya kiya, Amit Shah, we saw the stacks, right? Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, so mostly news ke liye use hota tha. So now you are saying ke the creators also should to X and create content over there. So what should the creator do actually? Because the creators are confused now.
Look, I was hoping you would answer these questions for me after the presentation. But to put it succinctly, right, I don't think we see ourselves as, you have to leave a different platform and come to X, right? We just think X is a great place as a creator to, again, forge some meaningful connections with an audience and to express yourself using different formats. So we think X has something unique to offer. And if you're also on other platforms, that's great. I mean, as creators, at the end of the day, the creator economy is built on multi-platform success. So there's no question about that. And we're not, no one here is trying to say you should leave Instagram and post only on X, anything of the sort. But tap into what's unique about X. That would be
one last thing. Meta also have threads, so which is similar to X. So
not by accident.
Yeah. So, what is the difference?
Again, the difference is in the audience. I think, look, product-wise, I think you can try out both the platforms and you can kind of see what features are available, 1 and 2. But because for me, I can list like Spaces, Grok, what Grok is able to do, Radar is able to do. In terms of these creator tools, those are certain competitive, I don't want to say advantages, but those are certain things that X offers, obviously. But at the end of the day, audience, right? The audience on X is special. And I think that's something that I was trying to express through my presentation as well. Whether it's X or whether it used to be Twitter, over many, many years, a certain culture has built up on the platform, including especially in India. And it wasn't just news. I mean, of course, Indians love news and politics. That's not limited to X. That's the world we live in, right? But recently there was a trend of using a Studio Ghibli AI filter on your photos. That took off in India in such a way that even Sam Altman of OpenAI posted on X, trying that out and kind of calling that out to India. Every day there are new memes that kind of take off amongst the Indian audience, and sports, movies, those things I spoke about. So Look, over the years, that's built up, and there's a certain culture and a certain special audience on X, and that's what we'd like you to find. Yeah, but if you also want to be on Threads, please, again, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Anveshi Jan. Congratulations. This was so insightful, and I'm so glad I came
Thank you.
for this. I have two questions. One of it is a little bit personal. So I happen to have more than 4 lakh followers on Twitter alone.
Amazing.
No, and there is another account that is not real, and that has way more than me. So I have been trying to get my account verified, and I have been unable to do so because that looks more relevant. The other one, which has more followers, because maybe they were more active using my name on Instagram. So maybe this is a personal question that I can ask you later on, or maybe now, that how can we sort of get verified and take precautions when it comes to sort of know the difference between the real person and the other one. The second question that I have is, which I'm extremely excited about, is you said that in the US you have been doing these podcasts and you're choosing people, you're wanting to have Indian people coming forward. So I want to know, me as an actor and a creator, I hold about 30 million online presence, inclusive of all platforms, and I have about more than 10 crore presence on Instagram in last 30 days, and that's been consistent for a couple of years now. So me as a creator, what is the thing that can bridge the gap between me and you can look upon the potential that I have as an individual and as somebody who can actually be a good participant of creating a show on my own on your platform?
Well, that's lovely. I mean, firstly, I'm very happy to hear all of this. Answer to both questions is we can talk after the session, obviously. Yeah, so please, my job title is Content Partnerships. So this kind of content partnership, that's we can definitely take that forward, and we want to help all the content creators in India grow. Secondly, in terms of the impersonation account and those things, yeah, we have escalation paths. I can obviously share them with you, but also, yeah, like if you just talk to the X team over here, I'm sure we can sort it out really quickly. I encourage everyone to have, two-factor authentication, obviously, to prevent account hijackings, and also for cases like impersonation and things like that. Yeah, use the escalation paths. Yeah, but we'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. Yeah.
Sir, this will be the last question, right?
Sure, sure.
Sir, is there a ranking system in X that boosts a particular content or a post?
Is there a what, sorry?
A ranking system.
I mean, every social platform has an algorithm at the end of the day. But it comes down to what the audience is interested in. Like, we actually put a lot of control in the hands of the audience. And there's a For You feed and a following feed. For your posts, again, like, try to use some of the analytics to see what might do well. That's what we'd encourage. But you can promote something if you really want to also. Yeah, sorry. Really quickly.
Hi.
Yeah.
Firstly, thank you for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
I have a question regarding, like, I'm based in UAE right now, and the thing is, I've been hearing that in the Middle East, the X's usage has been reduced a lot, and I was earlier quite active on Twitter, but lately I've stopped using it and I've been more on Threads. So I want to know, do you have any plans to, like, work on that Middle East market? Because my blog currently is targeting the Middle East people and India, but because of that reason, I could not use much of the X. I want you to share something regarding that.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing. And answer is, once again, a resounding yes. So I have a colleague, Joel Yasbek, who's working on the market that you mentioned. We've participated in summits similar to this one in the UAE, the 1 billion summit and things like that. And yeah, for sure. It's a priority market for it. All our efforts will also be going there also.
So currently, I mean, are there enough users using X in UAE or Middle East as well? Or is it like...
I mean, as far as I know, yes. Okay, but I don't know the numbers on the top of my head. We can take this up offline and maybe follow up on email or something.
Those who are on other platforms, those who have created the content on other platform and want to come on X, can you have the linkage for the revenue purpose? That I will post my, for example, YouTube or Instagram content link to X. Can I get the revenue out of that? That is first question. And second question, out of the all platforms, the likely of more trolling will be on X. So how to tackle with that?
Okay. Our approach on X, the second question essentially is we want to put as much as possible of the control in your hands. So recently, we have launched many new features, many new controls for you in terms of blocking handles, blocking as an advertiser, entire verticals, keywords, and many filtering mechanisms. We're using XAI Grok also to basically hide probable spam comments entirely on the platform. So there are various efforts we're undertaking to kind of control bad actors on the platform and only having genuine comments, right? Obviously, that doesn't mean that everything will be positive, but yeah, in terms of some kind of organized trolling and things like that, there are various things we're doing to control that. And we also publish a transparency report and a brand safety report publicly that talks about some of these efforts. On your first question, sir, about I mean, of course, we want the content to live on all platforms. I'm not sure I clearly follow the revenue mechanism that might exist here. But again, X does allow you to link to other platforms on your profile. So under your username, there's a space for you to link to your website or your other social media platforms and so on. That's very much there.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.